$20 million on an annual basis.
Right.
That's a pretty huge amount of money to work through. That would make you a fairly profitable corporation.
Very profitable corporation, especially in this area. I mean, it's a huge amount of money, and we have no chief financial officer. Once again, we are, but only during an open meeting do we have any authority to do anything.
Yeah.
We can set our budgets, but we just have a limited amount of time to actually make any decisions. And I think a county administrator is going to find many ways to save the county money by just having cooperation between our departments. Start decentralizing everything and having it going to one chief executive officer, if you'd like that term.
Yeah. And you even have a bit of a model, because Toby Doherty, as a city manager of Hayes, has done some of the same things that you're talking about in saving money for the community, trying to find efficiencies.
Right. And well, that's the other thing. I'd like to have a point man to where Toby has somebody to go to, to where maybe the city of Hayes and Ellis County could start looking at how can we work together more efficiently to start saving the taxpayer money. Eventually, you know, as time goes on, people are going to get taxed higher and higher and higher. We're going to have to start thinking outside the box. You know, I mean, down the road, they're talking county consolidation, school consolidations. You know, I mean, it's going to happen because people will not tolerate a higher and higher and higher level of taxation.
It's kind of hard to justify for some of those smaller counties, if you have a population of 4,000 or 5,000 people, having a couple of $100,000 tied up just in county salaries every year. That's secondary for us, although some of the smaller counties around us may be targeted for consolidation with Ellis County, so it is something to kind of plan for in the future.
Right, that's kind of a second. I mean, we just need to find efficiencies now. And
that efficiencies, you mentioned that, and you mentioned taxes. We get into the idea of the money behind it. You make a very good case, but there's actually been some pretty serious reaction to it. There have been some letters to the editor in the Hayes Daily News, especially focusing on one particular aspect, and that is the salary for this administrator, which has been publicized at over $100,000 a year. And there's people who are saying that's way too much money, especially to be encumbering at a time of great economic turmoil.
Right.
How do you respond to that?
I say now is the time we need a person like that to find these efficiencies to start saving us money. The way we're going now, I think, is not the way to go. We need somebody to start combing through our budgets for the commission and start finding these efficiencies. The salary, you know, I just read in the paper, USD 49 has 5 administrators making just as much money as the one we're proposing. The Hayes city manager makes over $100,000, easily over $100,000 a year. It's just the nature of the beast, because the responsibility placed on this one person will be so great in managing that type $20 million.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a very responsible position. We've had some complaints that, well, you're going to have a secretary, you have to add this and that. But really, our administrator is going to be working with our clerk's office, because the clerk handles a lot of that now. And I basically see that maybe an employee of the clerk's office will be just transferred over to the administrator's office, because, you know, whoever is doing the payroll and the paying the bills would naturally fit under the administrator more than the clerk in the future.
So that would be a decision made by the administrator, and that's why...
I think it'd be between the administrator and the clerk. Now, the clerk is an elected official. That's a whole nother wrinkle in county government. We do have elected officials.
The appraiser's elected, the county clerk...
No, the appraiser is not.
Okay.
The treasurer is.
Treasurer, excuse me.
Treasurer, sheriff.
And thank you for correcting me.
Yes, register of deeds, clerk.
I'm still learning about county government around here myself. As a matter of fact, I moved from a community that had an elected appraiser's position.
Okay.
So.
Now,
my apologies.
Our appraiser is appointed, but our treasurer is not. He is elected. And a county commission cannot tell an elected official how to run his department. Now, we can tell our appointed department heads how to run their department, but that's another complexity to county government that most people don't realize. But we do have other elected officials that the public has elected to that position. And us, as a county commissioner, as a county commission, basically has a budgetary authority over their department. But once we agree to their budget,
then they can administer it their way.
They administer it the way they want.
And we've talked about that $20 million, but give me an idea about how many personnel this person would be supervising. That's a pretty large number as well.
163, 165 in that range, I believe, is what our current employment in Ellis County is.
That is a big responsibility.
That's a big responsibility.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
County government is a level that many of us don't think much about, especially if you live in a city where the government you have the most day-to-day contact with is your city commission. But county government does do a lot, as Glenn Diehl has told us today. Our county commission is moving forward on a fundamental change to how the county will be run. Is, as some people have said, a time of financial crisis the wrong time to be expanding the payroll of county government? Or, as Commissioner Diehl has told us, is it that the public demands of government necessitate this kind of expansion? They're the views that commissioners like Glenn Diehl need to hear and have invited from you. And it's important in our democracy to express those. Again, my thanks to Ellis County Commissioner Glenn Diehl for joining me today on Talking Democracy. To view past programs, find schedule information, or information about KFHS television, please visit kfhs.net. Thank you and good night.